We swept the board in last week's video, and I'm here to give you two more plays for Thursday Night Football this week. I'm Connor Alpha 4 for 4. And this week's edition of Thursday Night Football features the Titans against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers are 3-point home favorites in this spot and will be starting quarterback Kenny Pickett, despite him leaving last week's game with an injury. They did lose safety Minka Fitzpatrick, though, as he hasn't practiced all week. The Titans are coming off of a big win over the Falcons last week with rookie quarterback Will Levis making his first start, throwing for 4 touchdowns and over 200 yards in that spot. But my first bet of the board is going to be Najee Harris to go under 45.5 rushing yards. We cashed Najee's under last week at 45.5 rushing yards in a similar spot. It was a tough matchup, and we're getting the same price in another tough matchup here. The Titans' run defense hasn't looked all that good as of late because they've been without defensive tackle Tyler Tart. But they got him back last week. He only played 35% of the snaps. But I expect that usage to ramp right back up to his 50 to 60% usage mark, like we saw earlier in the season. When he was healthy and active, Titans defense ranked third in run defense EPA per play, one of the best in the league. Titans allowed just 3 running backs so far to go over 45.5 rushing yards this season. Zach Moss, which was without Tyler Tart, Joe Mixon, where the Titans basically just let the Bengals run as much as they wanted, stopping the pass, though, and successfully doing so. And then Bijan Robinson last week, again, Tyler Tart was on like a 30% snaps. Even with a few big games allowed here, they're still allowing just 3.9 yards per carry to opposing running backs. And Najee's been super inefficient this year, averaging just 3.7 yards per carry himself. He's gone over 45.5 rushing yards in just 3 games, all of which came against either bad defenses or on a ton of volume. Previously, in past seasons, we could bank on Najee seeing a ton of work and going over his number here. But in this spot, with volume concerns, he only out-touched Jalen Warren 7-5 last week. He had just 50% of the running back carries in 3 straight games. I'd play this to 41.5. I think he goes well under this number here in a tough matchup with volume concerns as well. My second bet, Will Levis, longest completion over 36.5 yards. This should come as no surprise if you watched last week's game. He was gunning the ball downfield at will. He had one of the highest average of the targets among anyone in the league last year. Showed have a massive arm strength. Over 28% of his passes went 20 or more yards downfield. He connected with DeAndre Hopkins on a 47-yard touchdown, a 61-yard touchdown. And on top of that, he had a 33-yard completion to Nick Westbrook-Ikine, plus a near miss at Chig Okonkwo, who basically just dropped it. It won't always be pretty here against the Steelers, I'll be honest, because the Steelers can get pressure, and that's one of the biggest keys in this spot here. But without Minka Fitzpatrick, I think they're going to be a little bit leakier in the secondary. And if we look at their splits under pressure, they're allowing just a 38% completion rate, which is the best in the league, and 5.7 yards per pass attempt. When they haven't gotten pressure, though, they're allowing 8.4 yards per pass attempt, which is 28th in the league. So with those splits there, we're probably going to get a couple plays here where the Titans are able to max protect, have a couple long drops here, and Will Levis is able to sling the ball downfield. If that's the case, I expect it to happen multiple times in the spot. He should go over 36.5 yards at least once in the spot. I wouldn't take the yards. I think that this is kind of an all or nothing bet right here as well. And if you like these bets, get all my official plays at 44.com. We are up over 19 units on the season. That means $100 bettors are up over $1,900 on the spot. You can get 25% off of a betting subscription at 4for4 using code YouTube. You can also subscribe to this channel where we'll be releasing props and bets throughout the week. Thanks. Talk to you guys next week.